Section 2. Classical Antiquity. Civic harmony and contemplation. Landscapes of Greece and Rome. After the earliest gardens of Egypt and Mesopotamia, the Mediterranean gave rise to something new. A vision where nature became a space for thinking, living, and being together. In classical antiquity, in Greece and Rome, landscape design became a reflection of civic life, philosophy, and the human spirit. These were not private paradises, but public stages, sacred grounds, and curated worlds of balance. First, Greece, where nature and thought intertwined. In ancient Greece, nature was sacred, not just useful. Groves of oaks, laurel, or olives became sanctuaries. The sacred grove of Dodona, for example, was home to Greece's oldest oracle. Here, priests interpreted the rustling of leaves, the voice of Zeus carried by the wind. Far to the south, in Delphi, sacred landscape and architecture fused at the temple of Apollo. Perched on Mount Parnassus, Delphi was believed to be the omphalos, the center of the world. Gardens were not enclosed here. Nature was alive and connected to the divine. In the heart of the polis was the agora, the civic landscape. A marketplace, gathering space, and philosophical playground, the agora of Athens was where Socrates challenged assumptions under the open sky. Paths were dirt or packed gravel, shaded by trees. Not ornamental, but generous. Design here wasn't decorative, it was democratic. Nature was integrated into daily life as a place of movement, speech, and the search for truth. Second, gymnasiums and peristyles, physical and mental harmony. Greek gymnasiums were more than sports facilities. They were cultural institutions, places of exercise, education, and landscape design. In Olympia, the palestra sat within a grove of plane trees, the ideal environment to cultivate both body and mind. In Pergamon, the gymnasium terraces followed the hillside's natural topography. Stone colonnades framed planted courtyards, and water channels whispered along walkways. 3. Rome, bringing the garden inside. Where the Greeks looked outward to the sacred, the Romans turned inward. Their villas, especially those near Pompeii and Herculaneum, show how gardens became part of the architecture itself. The Villa of the Mysteries, outside Pompeii, contains a peristyle garden surrounded by frescoed walls and decorative sculpture. These weren't mere courtyards, they were designed experiences. In Herculaneum, the Villa dei Papyri, which inspired the Getty Villa in Malibu, held a vast terrace garden overlooking the sea, filled with bronze and marble statuary. Copies of Epicurean texts were found here, a fusion of pleasure, nature, and philosophy. Scene: Hadrian's Villa, Tivoli, cinematic panning over the Canopus and Maritime Theater. Perhaps the most ambitious ancient landscape was Hadrian's Villa in Tivoli. Built by the emperor as a retreat from Rome, it was a world in miniature, inspired by places Hadrian had seen across the empire. The Canopus Garden Pool, an elongated basin flanked by columns and statues, was based on Egyptian forms. Nearby, the Maritime Theater housed a secluded garden island, completely encircled by water. Geometry, hydraulics, and architecture worked in harmony. Hadrian's Villa wasn't just about beauty. It was about power through order. 4. Elements of classical landscape design. From both Greek and Roman traditions emerged foundational ideas. Symmetry and axial planning. Integration of water through fountains, channels, pools. Sculpture as narrative, telling myth, memory, and virtue. Frame views, gardens as stage sets. Romans perfected hydraulics. They brought aqueducts, cisterns, and fountain mechanics into the garden. Water was not only symbolic, it was engineered. 5. Echoes in modern design. The influence of classical antiquity never faded. From Renaissance Italy to 21st century estates, the Roman courtyard and the Greek grove continue to inspire. The modern Mediterranean villa, with its shaded portico, water basin, and enclosed garden, draws directly from these ancient prototypes. Even urban plazas, like Madrid's Plaza Mayor echo the layout of Roman forums. In classical antiquity, landscape became more than a boundary between buildings. It became a dialogue between human and nature, intellect and experience, order and mystery. From sacred groves to imperial courtyards, the spirit of Greece and Rome still breathes in every design space that invites us to walk, to reflect, and to belong. If you enjoyed this journey, like, subscribe, and join us for more. This series is a special project by LASD Studio, landscape architecture, sustainability, and design, offering thoughtful, site-specific design services around the world. Visit us at laststudio.com to learn more. Let's keep walking together through the living history of landscape, where art, nature, and human spirit continue to meet.